Throughout the nearly 100 hours of Dragon Ball Z, a unique gimmick came to light in the form of fusion. This allowed two or more people to become one wholly new being and increase their power by many factors. Many different styles of fusion have appeared throughout the Dragon Ball series, but which of these fused beings are the strongest and which ones aren't nearly as powerful? I'm Caleb with Otaku Binge, and this is Dragon Ball Fusion's Weak to Powerful. The word fusion refers to multiple different acts in the Dragon Ball continuity besides the typical expected Metamaran fusion dance and Potara earrings. So, to clarify terms, the forms of fusion we're going to be talking about are fusion dance, Potara earrings, Namekian fusion, absorption, merging, possession, and machine mutant fusion. We'll go more into detail with specific examples, but it was important that we specify these off the top. We'll be starting off from the weakest of the fusions until we hit the most powerful fusions in all of Dragon Ball. The weakest fusion on our list is Old Kai, a permanent Potara fusion of a much younger Elder Kai and an old witch. Old Kai is much weaker than any other godlike figure in the series. This is due to a mix of his age and being trapped in a sword for 75 million years. Now, Old Kai is not a physically strong fusion, but has a large list of magic abilities, although none of them make him particularly dangerous. He is able to heal, see any event in the universe, can make things out of thin air, and can give up his life to revive another person. His most pertinent power is his ability to awaken the energy inside a person and unlock their potential as he did with Gohan. Although none of these powers really help him in battle, and he's overall a very weak character. The next fusion on our list is Kibito Kai, a fusion between the Supreme Kai Shin and Kibito, his attendant. Kibito Kai is a lot like Old Kai because he doesn't really fight during his tenure. He does want to fight with Super Buu, but Old Kai says that while he is stronger than his parts, he is much weaker than Super Buu. Sure, Kibito Kai has godly ki and is able to heal people, but he is still very weak compared to others. He may not have the vast variety of skills that Old Kai has, but he is also a physically strong entity, which ranks him slightly higher. Next on our list is the fusion Akka, a merged style fusion of the brothers Abo and Kato. Akka lands here as the weakest fighting fusion, mostly out of necessity. By this point in the series, the Z Fighters had taken on universal threats, whereas Akka is just a relatively strong Frieza soldier. Sure, Akka terrifies Tarbell, but he doesn't really have that much to say in terms of strength. He was able to overpower Goten and Trunks, who are about 10 years old at this point, but he was absolutely pounded by Gotenks in his Super Saiyan form, and it only took one strike from Super Saiyan Goku to defeat him. Akka, unlike Old Kai and Kibito Kai, is an actual physical threat, which is what places him slightly higher. The fusion between countless Namekins, Universe 6's Saonel and Polina are next on our list. Saonel and Polina fused with hundreds or thousands of their Namekian brethren prior to the Tournament of Power and gained a massive power boost because of it. These two are tied mostly because we never see them fight separately since they fight Piccolo and Gohan together. Saonel was able to handle Ultimate Gohan, and Polina was able to catch the same boy off guard during their scuffle. Polina was unscuffed by Piccolo's Hellzone grenade and was almost able to overpower Gohan's ultimate Kamehameha. Saonel was also able to withstand the beam clash between Polina and Gohan, which is a feat on its own. The two of them are powerful and very strong for Universe 6, but they're still nowhere near the strongest fusion. The next fusion on our list is the relatively powerful Super Android 13. Made by combining the parts of Androids 14 and 15 and merging them into Android 13's body is what birthed this fusion. In this form, Android 13 is completely unfazed by the combined attacks of Piccolo, Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku. His body is so tough that Trunks' sword shatters upon contact with him, and he manages to deal a massive amount of damage to Goku in a single punch. The only reason he was defeated was because of Goku combining his Super Saiyan form with a Spirit Bomb. Super Android 13 is powerful, but only appears for a short amount of time, which stops him from ranking higher. The powerful Bio Android Cell is the next fusion on our list. Cell is made up of cells from Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Piccolo, and King Cold, which means he can be seen as a fusion by that standard. However, the main reason he is considered a fusion is his absorption of Androids 17 and 18. In his timeline, he was easily able to kill future Trunks and then goes back in time to absorb the androids. He absorbed 15,000 humans and was still no match for Piccolo, but was supposedly stronger than Super Saiyan Vegeta. He then absorbed 60,000 humans in total and was leagues above Piccolo and Android 17, although he was only on par with Android 16. After absorbing 17, he was much stronger than 16, but was easily defeated by Super Vegeta, who had gone through training not too long before. He later absorbs 18 and enters his perfect form, which outclasses Vegeta and is very possibly universal level at this point. The thing about Cell is that he likes to hide his true power level from his opponents to surprise them. However, he is easily outclassed by Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who even manages to knock Android 18 out of him. This causes him to self-destruct, an explosion powerful enough to destroy King Kai's planet and kill Goku. However, he does come back as Super Perfect Cell that fights on par with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
Even if I self-destruct, I will always come back.
Alas, he is still defeated by Gohan, who was very powerful at this point in time. Cell is strong, but the following fusions are stronger than he is. This may surprise some, but Piccolo is next on our list. By the end of Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo is actually fused with both Nail and Kami through the use of Namekian fusion. Piccolo is considered the strongest Namekian in all of Universe 6 or 7. Piccolo is a prodigy amongst prodigies and was the strongest Z fighter at 2 separate points. He was the strongest Z fighter right after fusing with Nail, and then once again right after fusing with Kami, showing how fusion increases your strength. He was able to handle second form Frieza right after fusing with Nail, the Tyrant having a power level over 1,000,000. After fusing with Nail, he was able to easily defeat Imperfect Cell. He was strong enough to break through Babidi's magic barrier, able to hold Frost using only one hand and break through Vado's thought to be unbreakable barrier. Piccolo's strength is comparable to Goku and Vegeta, however, the following fusions are shown to be much stronger than their components and outclass Piccolo handily. A pretty powerful fusion next on our list is Gotenks. Gotenks is the Metamaran fusion between Goten and Trunks. He was very powerful and was thought to be able to go up against Majin Buu after a few days training. He was fast enough to circle the globe multiple times in mere moments and could fight on even footing with Super Buu while a Super Saiyan. He is also an arrogant child, which does get in the way a lot of times. During Frieza's invasion in Dragon Ball Super, he was nowhere near as strong as First Form Frieza, but was able to defeat the relatively powerful Tagoma. Near the end of Dragon Ball Super, he was shown to be much more weaker than Copy Vegeta, who was as strong as Base Form Vegeta, making him weaker than Vegeta. Gotenks is strong, but he is outclassed heavily by following fusions. Created by the Tuffle Baby possessing Vegeta, Baby Vegeta is the next fusion on our list. Baby Vegeta takes all of Vegeta's power at this point in the series and combines it with his own. In his Super Saiyan form, he was on par and almost able to overpower Super Saiyan 3 Goku, making him a very powerful individual. According to Goku, at this point in time, he had never felt power as strong as Baby's strongest form 1. He easily trounced Majub, who was at his strongest state at the time and was undamaged by a powered up Goku's assault. He was even able to hold his own against Super Saiyan 4 Goku, at least until he powered up fully, unable to damage the fully powered up Super Saiyan 4 Goku. When he transformed into a Golden Great Ape, he was almost as strong, if not as strong, as Goku. He was even able to damage the surface of the Earth from Planet Tuffle with his Gaelic gun, which is an intense feat. He ranks higher than Gotenks because even Goku thought an adult Gotenks couldn't do anything to the Tuffle. He is an intensely powerful enemy, but still not the top. The stronger GT fusion Super 17 is next on our list. Super 17 is born when Android 17 and Hellfighter 17 merge together to become a much stronger entity. He is said to be at the very least double the strength of Android 17 and confirmed stronger than Cell. He is able to handily beat Goten, Trunks, Gohan, Majub, and Vegeta after forming. Not to mention the fact that he gets stronger by absorbing energy, usually by absorbing blasts thrown at him. After absorbing a Kamehameha fired at him, he is able to beat the aforementioned Z-Fighters after they powered up to fight against him. Unlike Baby, he is shown to actually fight on par with Super Saiyan 4, which automatically brings his power up even further than thought. He has a wide range of abilities, ranging from short-form telekinesis to the ability to sense slight changes in the environment around him from movement of sound. If it wasn't for Android 18 distracting him, Super 17 may have done a lot more damage, but in the meantime, he definitely lands here on our list. The giant android entity Analaza is the next fusion to score on our list today. Analaza is a fusion of multiple members of the Team Universe 3, but in the anime specifically a fusion of Paparoni and Koiserata. He is confirmed to be Universe 3's strongest warrior and a powerful foe during the Tournament of Power. His giant stature gives him massive strength and a surprising amount of physical speed, aided by the ability to grow wings at will. He also has the ability to use sonar to detect people, making it nearly impossible for someone to hide from him. He was able to withstand the assault from the remaining Universe 7 team members, including the powerful Tyrant Frieza, Android 17 and 18, Gohan, Goku, and Vegeta. His ability to withstand their assault, coupled with his only weakness being a gem on his forehead, makes him formidable at the very least. But despite all of these points and his immense strength, he is still nowhere near as strong as Jiren and quite possibly leagues behind the rest of this list. Maybe a controversial pick, but right outside the top 3 is Fuse Zamasu. He is technically a fusion of Zamasu and another version of Zamasu who switch bodies with Goku called Goku Black. But besides that, due to this being a Potara fusion where one body is a Supreme Kai, this fusion is a permanent one. Even before the two of them fuse, they were more than even matches for Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks, but after fusing, he is able to hold off all 3 of them at once. Due to the parts he is made up of, he is literally immortal and possesses nearly limitless potential growth, making him a force to be reckoned with.
The great utopia will rise from the ashes.
He was able to nearly kill Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta in a single attack, showing the amount of strength he has tucked away. He was also able to take the superior Vegito Blue fight seriously where he wasn't before. If it wasn't for his unstable body and the fact he got completely decimated 3 separate times, he might rank higher. But he does have the bragging points of having to be destroyed by the ruler of the universe, Zeno, so he has that going for him. Grabbing our bronze medal of power is the mighty fusion of Universe 6, Kefla. Kefla is the fusion between 2 massively powerful Saiyans, Kale and Caulifla. When she first forms, she says she feels infinite power within herself, and this is quite possible considering her Saiyan DNA. Not to mention, upon first forming, she caused even Jiren the Great to flinch with her pure power and surprised Vegeta as well. Even Goku says he can't feel a limit to her power, which means she could become much stronger if we see her again in the future. She is referred to as Universe 6's trump card due to her pure power in this fight. She moves too fast for even Super Saiyan God Goku to see during their fight, making her a pertinent threat in her fight against him.
I just keep getting more and more pumped!
She was even shown to be on par with Goku in Super Saiyan Blue form, and Whis refers to her power as terrifying. Her power was so great, she claims she could destroy an entire universe in a single attack, and the bolts she fires were apparently strong enough to kill Goku in a single hit if they were actually able to hit him. Kefla is a very strong fighter, and there's no doubt about that. However, she is only number 3 on our list. The top 2 have been debated for a long time, but in our opinion, Gogeta grabs our silver medal of power. Gogeta is the result of Goku and Vegeta doing the Metamaran fusion dance. He was first seen in movie 15 Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn, where he fought Janemba. However, the term fight is very loosely used in this context because he was completely unfazed by any attack that Janemba put forth. All it took was one attack from Gogeta to destroy the powerful demon that both Goku and Vegeta were having trouble with. Later, in Dragon Ball GT, Gogeta appeared as a Super Saiyan 4, where his power was so great his fusion's timer was reduced tremendously. Fighting against Omega Shenron, he did nothing more than play with the Shadow Dragon. He was shown to be twice as strong as the powerful foe, as he took no damage from his attacks, and he was able to completely change Omega's negative karma ball into positive energy with a single kick. Even when fighting Broly, he was relatively strong, although Broly put up much more of a fight compared to his previous foes. The main reason he ranks number 2 is 2 very important points. Gogeta's fusion has a 30-minute time limit, much shorter than Vegito's. Secondly, during the Buu saga, he was said to be much weaker than Vegito, and it was said he wouldn't likely beat Super Buu. However, that's not calling Gogeta weak, he's just outclassed by our number 1 spot. Obviously, our number 1 spot and gold medal of power go to Vegito. Vegito is the result of Goku and Vegeta utilizing the Potara earrings to fuse together. When this technique was first used, it was assumed that the fusion was permanent, and if it was, the two of them wouldn't be in such a bad situation. Vegito is often considered the strongest character in the original Dragon Ball manga, excluding Super or GT. He easily dominated Super Buu even after he absorbed Ultimate Gohan, doing so without even throwing a punch and fighting with just his feet. He was even able to treat Buu like a plaything even after being turned into a piece of coffee candy. He did eventually defuse, but this doesn't stop Goku and Vegeta fusing again to fight Fuse Zamasu, who he trounced almost as easily as he did with Buu. Much like his Metamoran counterpart, his immense power causes his fusion to become unstable and defuse earlier than it was supposed to when fighting Zamasu. If it wasn't for the short time, Vegito may have defeated Zamasu during their fight. He also has a longer time limit, being available for a full hour rather than just a half of one. Although Vegito has only appeared twice, both times he easily handled his foe, unlike Gogeta, who is only on equal footing with full power Broly. But we've still got a few extra medals to pass out amongst these fusions. The Darwin medal for dumbest character goes to Gotenks. He is a literal child and they make stupid decisions, such as when he pretends to be beat by Super Buu, causing Piccolo to blow up their only escape route. Gaining the Lust medal is Old Kai. Much like Master Roshi, he is an old pervert who loves adult magazines. Snatching our Wrath medal is Fuse Zamasu, who wants to destroy all mortals because Goku beat him in a fight. The Pride medal handily goes to Vegito, who fights with his feet and is generally cocky throughout his fights. Grabbing our Envy medal is Baby Vegeta, who is envious enough of Saiyan power to possess Vegeta, Prince of the Saiyans, despite hating them. Slowly grabbing the Sloth medal is Akka, who took like 10 years after Frieza died to avenge him. Finally, stealing the Gluttony medal is Cell, who literally eats people through his tail and gains power because of it. But let us know in the comment section if you agree with our ranking, and tell us what we should cover next. Hit that notification bell for your daily dose of anime and binge our weak to powerful playlist, where we break down the most powerful characters in your favorite anime. Thanks for watching.